guys, what is going on? Welcome back to another video. So obviously today we're going to be going over carbohydrates. Okay, now I know a lot of you guys out there may have a fear of carbohydrates. You may be saying, hey, I'm trying to get ready for summer, I want to drop this body fat percentage, I have to get rid of carbs, right? Or I have to drop them really low. Not necessarily the case. Okay, now what you have to do is you have to understand the difference between the two different types of carbohydrates we have, which we're going to get into here in just a little bit, and understand when to implement them and how to properly use them. Okay, so let's start off with the first kind of carbohydrate. We have simple carbohydrates. Now when I say simple carbohydrates, I want you guys to think of things like cake, sodas, candy. Okay, those are very I'd say the three probably the most popular ones. Now, simple carbohydrates should be used in the sense of quick energy, okay? This is what they do when they enter your body. They spike your insulin. Your insulin's going to grab onto that glucose and, direct it right into your muscles, which is going to be very beneficial to you if you're a gym goer. If you live a very active lifestyle, I don't care if it's a jog, I don't care if you're hitting the weights for 45 minutes, I don't care if you're doing, your powerlifting stuff or whatever style of training, CrossFit, doesn't matter. That is going to be used for energy in that instant, very quickly. Now, where people go wrong with this is, and normally it's user error, is a lot of us like to eat candy and we're not looking at how much we should be having. I know for a fact they give recommended amounts to eat. About 10 pieces is a serving, which should give you around 25 grams of carbohydrates or whatever it is. A lot of us are just eating the whole bag, and once the bag is done, we're like, all right, we're done, that's it, that was a serving. That was probably 4 or 5 servings. So that's step number 1 that you're doing wrong when it comes to simple carbohydrates, okay? You can consume these things like candy, like Sour Patch Kids, and, and still get a good benefit out of them. You just have to do it at the proper time and have a purpose behind it. Okay, I get it, we want to have candy because it's good, and it tastes good, and when you have one, you just want to have more, that's another issue, is that they're not very, simple carbohydrates are not very satiating, meaning they don't leave you feeling full. If anything, it kind of creates a craving to where you want more, all right? So, again, user error, that's where we, as the individual, as the athlete, as the bodybuilder, as whatever it is that you're doing, you have to have self-discipline and kind of weigh out that or count out how many pieces and then put the box away and say, hey, that's it. That's my 25 grams of carbs for this workout I'm about to get into, and live an active lifestyle so that can be conducive to whatever it is you're doing. Now, on the opposite end, complex carbohydrates. Complex carbohydrates are going to be things that are more whole food. So think about yams, potatoes, oats, rice, things like that. Now, these are obviously more so whole foods and are going to be more satiating to your body, meaning they're going to leave you feeling a lot more full than simple carbs, and you're not going to really get any kind of craving after eating a complex carbohydrate. Try eating a half a cup of oatmeal in the morning to get your day going for your breakfast, and see how full you feel after that. You're going to feel really full, in other words, satiated, and you're not going to want to eat anything else after that. Now, how do I choose between the two? Which one's better? Which one's worse? No one's really better or worse than the other, but I will say if you're a hard gainer, meaning that you find it very hard to hit your and put on muscle mass, and a lot of times these people have a hard time eating, maybe you want to go with more of the simple carbohydrates because they're easy to palate and you can eat a lot more of those, so that way you can hit your number. Okay, not saying you're not going to have any complex carbohydrates, but like I said, complex carbohydrates are going to be harder and leave you more satiated. So why would you choose the harder route when you could choose something that's a little bit more easier, as long as you hit your carbohydrate goal at the end of the day? Now, in the opposite spectrum, if you're trying to drop and you have a limit of, let's say, 200 calories per day, and you're eating very simple carbohydrates, you're going to blow through that like crazy. You have a can of Coke, a box of candy, even let's say some fruit or anything like that, those 200 grams of carbohydrates are going to go by very quickly. Okay, and for those in a deficit, my competitors, a lot of you guys know you guys want to enjoy your carbs. As I said before, they're going to leave you feeling very satiated. So at the end of the day, you got to choose which one is better for you. Not saying any one is necessarily better or worse, simple versus complex. You choose, they're both beneficial, and next time you go to work out, try using some simple carbohydrates like some Sour Patch Kids or Skittles or something like that. So that way you can kind of get some more energy through your workout. And try it out for a week, try it out for a couple days, and see how it feels. Let me know what it is that you guys like better when it comes to carbohydrates and when you guys like to implement them. All right, you guys, peace. Thank you. Hopefully that helped.